super comfortable map for them. We land on lair, and I've said it multiple times, and I believe that Falcons is easily
come to the end of the road of the upper bracket for them. I'm not saying they don't make it to the major. That's what they've got to look forward to in the last map on layer. I just can't. If they want, Falcons are actually standing up pretty well to the initial pressure. We're down to a minute left to go. All back on site, apart from users who, look at that, manages to pick himself up. A kill onto Freck. P4 finds MACKO elsewhere, 4 versus 4. But BDS need to get themselves moving. However, look at Falcons' HP. It's really been chipped away at, and here comes that BDS movement that I was talking about. Lasmo gets himself into position inside the side, but it's not going to do any good. I'm not sure he sticks this plant. It's 4v1. He's got no option but to hold on here and then try and find some kills. The pressure mounts, he gets one. Can he find himself a second? Yes, he can. But it's going to be meaningless as Leakerfat comes down those stairs, picks up the kill, and gets himself the round. Falcons.
It was a nice trick, but it hasn't quite paid off.
Last time we had a super late, just as I'm about to say, opening kill. It was useless after about 2 minutes, and it's about the same this time around, except it goes the other way. Freck manages to make it a double as he picks up 3-day as well. Leakerfat is there with 1 onto P4, but could be about as meaningless as that plant that we saw. Freck has got himself onto a 4. Can he pick up the last man? It's going to be MACKO that he needs to find. Plant has gone down, as has Robbie, but the last one comes in. What a response out of BDS! What a response of that fireplace side of things.
Ooh, Lasmo gets
that's not
first.
Good.
Yeah, I would delve in. You can see that there's now some support. P4 with the flashes. They don't have any more frag grenades to bounce their way around, but instead, ooh, there's a misplay and there's almost a capitalization on a double, but instead P4's at
5 seconds. They should have time here. They've got that man advantage. They've been using it well. They've been playing the team game. They've been playing the trades. They know exactly where MACKO is. Now I'm not sure what the plan was there. Freck cuts down League. In fact, they know he's going to be coming from Mudroom. There you go. Easy as that for Freck to pick him up. 3 versus 1. There we go. Round over. Give away the position that was winnable for Falcons. It was still 3 versus 4. It was doable. If they get the wins, they get the wins, and it drives them closer towards that Chalet victory that they're going to need. Jesus is taken down but not out. Leak, in fact, does manage to find Robbie. I don't know if that maybe creates a little bit of space to pick users up or not. We will see whether that happens, but we're effectively 4 versus 4 at the minute. But Freck, he just continues. He won't be stopped, making 8 kills. Takes
his way away. That will draw some attention, and 50 seconds left. Now, the fight on the top of the blue. You've got to be aware. Where's the comms? The team round the back. Virtue's ready for it. Lasmo and P4 taking a lot of damage, but still standing. However, 40 seconds. Now they're just going to try and send a plant behind the lockers, but you can't really cover this so directly. There's going to be flashes. There's the player on the hatch. He's slightly blinded himself, and now they have the vertical watch, but 20 seconds. They're still not confident in holding off against the retaker. Slight bit of motion, a slight bit of rotation here. Now he's a bit open towards the corner wall. He could be popped out. The Goyo goes. So does Users. Gets one, but there's the swing round and the drop underneath the hatch itself. 10 seconds, though. They're going for the push. They're going for the pressure. It's a 3 versus 1. A blitz again and a 1 versus 1, but P4's on the plant alone because they couldn't get Lasmo up in time. Here comes the revolver. He just misses out. Millimeter margins.
I was a little bit nervous for Breeder. Then he come around the guy, thought he's going to get guns up.
On Clubhouse, and sometimes those risks unfortunately just don't net anything. Raurador goes up, so does the explosion in towards the top. There's an easy take from Freck. Swings round, ready for the next follow through. He's about to find some pressure on towards Ivy, so he covers himself just for a step longer, waiting for the support to come through, but uses with that DMR threads a needle. Another door is put in place. They're trying to just put Usus in a box and then send him on his way. Cannot really retreat out, but the Warriors now, if Freck crosses this divide, oh, he still wins it out. DMR's at dawn, has seemingly is the driver of this game right now, and wow, they've ripped control. The tentative grasp on the top floor. There is still some of this pressure coming through, and there was almost another catch there. If they'd have put it into a 4 versus 2, that would have been devastating. Solotov and Bride from underneath are able to net the kill, though, on towards Virtue. There's Solotov getting one more, and by refusing to give up his precious territory around Ivy. He's kept a hold. Freck is still doing Freck things. P4 gets one of his own, and now it's just Solotov left. The plant inside the site on the far side. They have to watch on the doorway. There's the pre-fire saying, I know you're watching, but he slips his way on past. Where's the man? Where's the body? There's the catch. Now, a game of 2 stories. Solotov, he's going to hit for the kit. He's on 1, he's on 2. The spray is through. There he is. He's just going to hold on. Oh, Freck! He's about to be surrounded. Solis shows up and wins out. Big risk, no reward. Oh, I say that, Robbie. That's fine.
It was the second. It just shows how sort of fine margins it is between success and failure on players like that. Oh, beautiful shot from Freck. Sorry, it's P4. I'm actually, P4 wanders in, and in a different world.
Thinking about Freck with the game he's having.
I just can't stop thinking about it. In a different world, you'd go in there and get 2 or 3 kills, but the timing wasn't there for him, and he lost there. But Robbie has had enough of sitting back and watching Freck get all these kills. Decides it's time to start getting involved himself. Manages to pick up a lovely double. And Freck, no, it'll be Lasmo who picks up the last one. Freck, Clubhouse and Falcons. Clubhouse and Falcons. Clubhouse and...
I think they're always going to be there. You can have games that go into statistics and games that go away from them, and sometimes it sort of bleeds across that. But they did get the first kill on towards the top of the main stairs. They're sort of up and down blue as much as they can. That's C4 over the top, but Solotov over the top as well. There's at least a C4 out on towards one of them. There's a take onto a stack, and Lasmo's dropped in towards the site and gotten himself a kill, but now he's all that's left. They're above the hatch, they're outside the door, they're in the walls, and you can hear Brede on the Monty sort of getting close. Falcons, they've had a very different approach towards this, I think, than we've seen BDS. First engagement sprays out. They're inside getting the plant secured. Try and cut the distance, but they're inside the stock. And they'll put you together. But it's always nobody's here, nobody's home. Oh, he's entirely surrounded from either side, actually, and he's somehow slipped one way, but great team catch. And as I said, just tuck inside the door. As long as you've got Piano, as long as you've got the lockdown, you might be able to go even further, as the shield is all the way towards the top. Force Freck into a sticky situation, and Users picks up 1. Virtue does get 1, but it's traded back and forth, and that leaves the 4 versus 2. The spray around, the prediction and the premonition, but with a shield on and a player under a drone hole. Users outside that window, just causing problems. There's at least a fight on the back end for Virtue here, but Falcons and that Monty, which I'm pretty waiting for some support. Somehow he's found a pocket of safety. They're preparing for the fight on the windows. The Monty, somehow there is the cover. Almost some excellent shield play to survive. Virtue is down on the stairs. I mean, it's technically a 2 versus 3 right now, but there's the cover. The grenade gets 1. Shaiko left alone. 3 versus 1. BDS. Well, they have a best player in the world who's underperforming in this map, thankfully for them, to get through, but you know how he's always able to potentially turn it on. Swings wide onto the first, has the trap, and the player slightly further back is just opting to take this next engagement, but unfortunately
took a little bit of damage, but honestly could have been much worse for him down there. That's really not the end of the world for Falcons.
I think it was a good move as well, because what it did was draw focus away from the downed player. You sort of had 2 BDS players have to go and deal with it, but then they happens.
Oh dear, Falcons.
Oh no.
Oh dearie me.
Oh. P4 gets 1 on the top. There goes the end. We might be about to go on a... Well, I was going to say we might have been on a flawless here, but it's only Solotov left. Locked out. You have a round with a bra back of the Deimos to sort of go for a pinch at the same time. I'm wondering if Candelas might try and roll through. It's not again! No.
One is shame on me. Third one is it circles back, and it's shame on you again for now taking advantage. Shaiko is going to pick up Lasmo. Manages to level things up. 3 versus 3. Going to be a little bit of vertical pressure coming down from BDS. We see the spray down. Freck takes a lot of damage, but look at this. Brede is going to try and get that diffuser down super early in the round. He sees his opportunity. He takes it. He does secure it. Robbie finds Shaiko elsewhere, though, and is the retake on for BDS.
I mean, they have to be, right? They've done really well here, Falcons, to try and just sort of go for it. And there's Users fighting with everything to get out of there. The drop down, it just doesn't feel really worth it. And then they look snuck it in. I mean, there's a fight down on the corridor itself, and they've still not rooted him out. Switch drone as well as joining the bullying. But it's a lot of focus, and P4 gets the kill out of the end of it. They just full sent. The support of P4 swings round from dining, and all those eyes, Tim, and unfortunately still a bit blind. The fight against it gets Virtue. The C4 won't get the shield, but Lasmo does find EFAC, and the perfect person to fight against it, but there's the way of running a blitz shield in a 1 versus 1. BDS finally takes the terrain, but it's taken a lot of time.
Yeah, Falcons have just got their steps in the wrong order there. P4 was the one that needed to be dealt with first, really, but Robbie and P4 were actually covering each other extremely well, and the Falcons they were at a brick wall. They didn't know what to do. They had all that utility being thrown at the Warden, but they knew what was going to happen. They knew that they were going to get stung by P4 if they tried to push him, and that's exactly what did happen. They didn't have an answer to it, and they didn't really know where to go with it. Lasmo manages to get himself a second in the round, takes down users. That's going to be the ace offline. I don't know how much breaching has been done. I think they do have that main wall breach open. BDS is able to go in and plant. Not really doing anything about this. This could be a big problem, except P4 manages to get the kill onto Solotov. 1 versus 2 as BDS gets 1, but he's got to find 2 more with a pistol. Not going to be easy.
That's it. I mean, they've just moved away, right? They've played this perfectly. Don't give him the fight. It still takes 1. He can always be capable, but don't give him the option. BDS!
They're going to put themselves, through into that upper bracket final. Go into the Munich Major. However, that map.
2 stories. How much distance they need to go on. They've started with a similar game. I mean, they know about the player.
BDS, you're going to have to bring something else to the table this time.
Slips their way on past. It's a 4 versus 2. With 30 seconds left, one of them's been forced back towards Moto. They've accidentally revealed their spine, and it shows how powerful this position is. It just leaves Lasmo left alone. Falcons, they're just flooding themselves in at that point, and that was Gen.G yesterday. But EFAC also holds and waits just on the other side of the barbed wire, so he doesn't give the game and the position away. Oh, and he somehow still loses it out. Virtue gets that kill. The pressure's coming inside CC, but they're forced back out on background. Users finds Freck, and Virtue gets caught as well. That was a quick tick to death. There's pressure, but you look at the timer and you're going, okay, 7 players left. It's about to be a bit of a no-holds-barred brawl inside the site. They hop in, and they're going to try and get themselves as tucked to the hard wall as possible as the cover comes together. Shaiko gets 1, Solotov gets another, and suddenly it is just Robbie left. Hey, remember last map when we sort of said, well, they're missing Shaiko right out. Here's more of a pressure, more of a fear. There's somebody that's about to show up underneath, and P4 just gets a freebie onto EFAC. Not entirely sure what they expected. A little bit too locked in. Solotov, though, swings the pressure. Background. Virtue gets to use this, and they're refusing to give up the ground here. Virtue is the crosshold, and maybe just too much of a consideration. That pre-fire bullet actually
at this time instead of the Warden. They've had the Wamai. They've recognized what
on the Steamboat. You saw Steamboat Willie. Yeah.
I was there, you know.
You're goofy. Oh, that's goofy. Freck. And a second fish in the barrel of Robbie is on.
Takes down the Ash. Not the biggest loss for Falcons, but what it does for BDS is just keep them in touch in terms of man count, but they've got caught out. Leakerfax at the bottom of main stairs. They're unaware, and he cuts down Virtue in a late trade. That's the Valkyrie gone. 4 versus 3, and they're doing pretty well for time here on this attack of Falcons.
Oh, he's gone hunting, but he's revealed. I guess the drone just caught the tail end of that approach. You could see what P4 was trying, but he was a bit of a step behind. Look at the split control as well. It's everything Demo was sort of talking about yesterday. They've got themselves in blue, they've got themselves in Moto, and they're just going to try and drive on the back of it. It allows them to force them into positions like this. And now Robbie, all that's left, they're going for the plant. You won't see it. Chunks of damage. In scratchy engagements, Users and Robbie are next to follow, and seemingly everybody is playing a mobile dance, but Falcons finally put an end to it, apart from a drop rotate round. Freck gets Shaiko, gets that vertical pressure slightly cleared away. As BDS going for the plant, are they going to try and get this from underneath? They're shotgunning the wrong side. The plant is being fully secured, and well, the C4 does get 2. Okay, post-plant, single player outside the window, Tim.
Oh, I was going to say it could be tough to hold on. Uses it's a beauty to kick things off, but then Robbie responds, gets straight on that diffuser, and we've got to ask questions of Falcons again. Has gone off from the Selma, but still able to continue freezing it out. Leakyfact tries to go up those main stairs, will definitely have been heard from the barbed wire. Surely, yes. We've seen it a couple of times where Leakyfact tries to get aggressive, tries to push the front line and loses out, but ultimately his team are able to back him up. It's kill after kill, it's 4v1, and Solotov finds another. Robbie tries to fight back, but surely it's going to be too big a task to ask of the man this time. He's in a 1v3, the diffuser's going down. Can he do it? Absolutely not. Solotov closes.
Know what they're doing, and that operation, when it comes together, is as smooth as the Falcons' approaches have been on that. Look how many of them are left standing, and look how suddenly it probably also is the Falcons themselves won just at 7-2. Just put this one over, keep it going, and there's Shaiko to do exactly that. Solotov free to move. Shaiko gets himself another, and whatever BDS tried there on a rush, Shaiko, I think, got a 4th rated player of the first map. And, you know, and we said it at the time, you're like, yeah, you've got this opportunity, he's not there. Whether he was inspired by the clip.
Fighting, and you know, all of Laloon's teams have always had that mentality, you know, that attitude, and we will continue to see it. And Virtue manages to pick up Rede to level things up at 4 versus 4. They have to show it in the server. They have to show that mentality and that attitude. And this is what we need more of. Lasmo, Robbie managed to get in and one apiece. Leakyfact gets cut down as well. 3 versus 1 now, and this could be a round. And without a big moment from Solotov, they can't allow this BDSM. They cannot allow it.
It's a 2 versus 1, 40 seconds. He doesn't have a C4, whether they know that or not might change things, but Virtue does the right maneuver. I think they're playing underneath the impact DMPs, just remove it to allow the fire to push its way through, and they've got to try and get this out clean. He's inside fire, Efact's being cooked, there's some damage done, and there he goes. A real nice takedown there on that player. Robbie gets one more as well. You just think that they didn't overextend. Oh, there's one. Doesn't get the second, but could have leveled things up there or got themselves closer towards it. Now it's Brede alone. They'll be listening to the crawl of users, hoping that they get to pick up sound. It's very noisy, and the drone is watching it as well as users pings out, sort of says, leave me, mate. You'll be better off on your own in the 1 versus 4. That C4 doesn't quite catch anyone. They pushed into top red. There's at least one, but instantly met. BDS.
Nothing that Leakyfact can do in that situation. Great stuff from BDS.
It's a very wide site with 20 seconds. Kind of as good as over, but here, you've got to drop down into the site with 20 seconds. All your maneuvers are going to be very well signposted and picked up on users. Gets one. The C4 almost gets a follow through as Shaiko locks in control of blue, and Lasmo getting one and Brede going back and forth. There is no control on towards the territory and just too much left to do. Didn't quite catch anybody, but as the pressure comes on the split, this is the divide they've got to cross, and Freck gets one. Shaiko gets P4 back. It's traded back and forth, but Freck gets himself a second from that open breach and isn't going to give them the opportunity to chase him down. Knows how important having the extra gun in the firefight is as the rest of the team steadies some control, but 40 seconds. Now they've got eyes on towards construction. They're going to look towards Logi. They've got Freck obviously putting the pressure on the main window on the far side. Maybe going to hit main stairs and just get some of that split in as the Goyos start to pop here. Falcons holding on in the 4 versus 3, but they have the opportunity and ability to play on their defenses. There is still a lot of it standing, so in the final 20 seconds, having the work be done structurally means that it's only really the final 5 seconds in the push itself. Sprayed round. Robbie taking a bit more damage as well. Shaiko's off, and well, there's 2. Falcons, they lock themselves in a 2 versus 2 to a 2 versus 1, and nobody. Falcons.
Lost 2 maps so far. BDS have been super competitive, but it's going to get even harder.
But it's deep control because they know it's going to follow through. There's a Deimos underneath as well, and ooh, cut between the core of 2 players, and Shaiko pops it. Users gets Freck. And they're going to still keep trying to move behind it. Looking for the fight, but thread the needle. Leakyfact gets the head of Lasmo. And it's all just fallen a bit apart from this position. And now they've just got to try and force themselves in here. I think we're probably off to a flawless opener. Oh, that at least stops it, but not for long.
Not for long at all. I mean, really, particularly well to catch a few feet there. We've got users, we've got Leakerback taking some chip damage, but a minute left on the clock, and there's still work for BDS to do here. They've lost that entry battle. P4 does manage to pick up Solotov though, so it's 1-for-1. It's 4 versus 4. BDS, where is that blitz? Where is Virtue going to be going? That's going to be the tip of the spear. That's going to be the push into side.
Well, they now have eyes on a default plant, and they just try and keep pushing on towards it and cover the distance. Kills himself, but takes the man down with him. Maybe not what he wanted to happen, but what else could you do apart from scream? BLAST gets the kick confirmed, and EFAC in lockers. They know where he is, and they can peel themselves away. They don't need to extend for the fight. They can watch this from above as they are. You can see the rotate coming around. They've kept a player close as well to be a bit of a spot fight for it, and now that player can peel back. And sure, with that hatch, that is as well. They've got some eyes on display. They've got some eyes on the rest of it, but with only a minute left and only some of this control over the top, they have to start pushing for these kills. They get one on the far side. Some presence on towards green. Lasmo gets another from that position on towards Solotov, and there's Lasmo getting 2, and what a wraparound this has been. Shaiko does find one, but he's now all that is left alone above here. The flashes start to ring out. Their approach to be a bit more of a clock out. In fact, no, sorry, Users is still up here as well, but P4's going to go for the plant. They think they've done enough. And as the pressure comes either side, well, they probably have post-plant situation here. At this point, as I sort of said, it's been a very clean take on the top.
A few of those lines aside, you get into kind of an off-brand plant position and you put it down and you leave the... Everything's got to work, everything's got to be perfect, and it rarely all comes together.
That's a whole other argument that we'll get into in a minute. Knifing the roof won't do much, but Virtue does find the end of EFAC after they get a double holding onto that position. The mirror, think about what they've taken out there, the hard breacher and the shield. At this point, they're operating with less, but they're still able to at least get a kill to level it out, but they're still utility-wise on the back foot. P4 is holding out for a follow-through swing. The Bees will go either side. They're onto display window, but they need to try and work in supporting each other, and Shaiko's been able to move up towards the upper window. Gets an easy pick. First fight comes together, they can be in a position to get a trade, and it seems like that pressure might be on towards both of them. P4 goes down first. Breck on a sliver of health. And they're just going to lock it out.
Yeah, the round, they need to be getting control over that mid-floor. Let's not forget they're attacking into the basement. We do see them trying to do so, but Leakerback just catches out Virtue. Can't be losing that fight. Needs to be going in there and winning that. There's some support from Users there as well, and these two are doing a great job of holding on to briefing. BDS just unable to break them down at the minute. Shaiko manages to find one, Brede another, and it is a round that is going all in favor of Falcons. Shaiko makes it 2 in the round, 5 versus 1, and in the blink of an eye, it is the acid test of the truth of that, I think, here. With 30 seconds left to go, there isn't really time now for BDS to be looking at a top floor clearance. There's only Robbie up there. He moves down, so let's see whether they are able to manage it or not. They have some smokes this time. We hear a couple of those going off. Leakerback manages to find one. The diffuser is not going down yet. 20 seconds. BDS still not confident that they've created the space, and there it is. Lasmo gets taken out with diffuser in hand as he tries to go in, and they have paid the price for ignoring the top floor. They didn't necessarily recognize the strength of their attack last time onto this side. What really worked for them. They didn't double down. They didn't try it again, and Falcons...
How often you've cast that site on the approach?
You can't do it. You
across
can't,
multiple regions.
You can't do it like that.
I feel crazy and oath that I haven't covered this split, and I've seen
the round comprehensively, and like you say, it is rare the occasion where a team will get away with it. It's not to say it's impossible, but it's rare.
Doing their best to try and delay and sort of push them back on. They're swinging either side. There's some support coming on the shoulder, and ooh, they slip away, and now they're back in, but the air jab will just execute them, and oh, the wheels are coming a little bit off here. Think about what they've just lost on the fight for ops. They've lost their keepers. They lose one bloody more, Tim. As Solotov tears the head off with the smoke. every single sort of positive, active bit of utility they can do to slow people down outside of a C4 is gone. So instead, it's just guns up, fun time. Right to. Movement in towards the fire. Virtue's under fire. He's in a 1 versus 4. Great take on towards Shaiko. But as the kit's being planted, the C4 won't come out immediately. There's the loose, and oh, there it is. Caught and covered. Massive round from Falcon. Himself kept cementing kills, and as the blind and the pressure come out, they do get the opening kill in towards their favor this time. Only their second of this map throughout it, and a shotgun makes friends with a shield, but P4, he's already used all of his smoke, so he's going to hold on. But look at Freck round on the back stairs as a blind comes in. There's a C4 over the top. BDS gets Freck on an easy pickup on the rotate, and users get P4. Uh-oh. Things are starting to fall away again. Shaiko gets one of his own before Lasmo is able to get some revenge. Leaves us in 3 versus 2. But if I'm going to say that things were taken out of the pockets of one team, now there's only really 2 pockets left. Ooh, Virtue swings onto the Blackbeard, removes their head, and now it's a Glaz and a Candellaless and smokeless approach. Lasmo gets the cutoff, and now it is just a Glaz. EFAC is 7-2-3 across this game so far. 10 seconds. The positions they've put themselves in. Think about where the kit is and where Virtue's gone to, especially a close swing round. Don't think he meant to do that, but he did that. And out of time to get the last. But with the awareness that Freck is above, do they want to try and root him out, go for the take and go for the pressure? Ooh, they don't even really have to. Outside the building, Usus takes the head off of Freck, who thought he could try and win the engagement. Usus disagreed.
There's going to come a moment here where Falcons realise that there's only 2 on site, and they're going to get aggressive and just push in. And I think that moment is now. The Blackbeard goes in, sends the nade, he's going to dislodge the Fenrir. Virtue does find one around the map, though it was always going to be a calculated risk, and the calculation is not adding up in their favour at the minute. But Shaiko, big double once again, opens up sight. It's all up to Virtue to fight his way back in.
Shaiko struggled on Chalet, couldn't really get into it. Ended the map 5-12. Oh, in fact, no, it's direct. Right through the bottom. Usus is in. He's off to the races and in towards the site itself. Just going to smash himself past the first gadget. Now he can see clearly now. The rain is gone, as has Freck. Solotov gets one. P4, though, cuts Usus in half. Very, very important kill. The shield may be overextended, but he just wanted to keep applying pressure. But, well, it wasn't an immediate follow-through. There's a narrow fight that Lasmo wins out. Onto Liquifact, but Solotov gets Virtue back in. A 3 versus 3. Pressure onto bottom of the green. But P4, he's still surviving around here. In the meantime, Solotov stuck and cornered. And capped off as Shaiko's inside the site, looking, hoping wistfully for something to happen. They know exactly where he is, and, well, they're not going for the individual swings. You can see them sort of preparing themselves for the engagement. BDS going for the plant in the meantime. And Shaiko's like, oh, I should probably come and help. Behind the pillar, a post-plant situation. Now, we've seen BDS lose a similar situation like this on Chalet before. There's one, there's a slip away, and there's 2! They got either side, the trades, and oh no, Tim! Not like this, happening again, a 1 versus 2, Robbie. Can't find it! Shaiko, bloody Shaiko!
And of course, our biggest hope here coming out of EML. Let's have a chat with our victors, Liquifact, joining us.
He's just shushing.
Yeah. Calm down.
Hello guys.
Hello, Liquifact.
Hello, Liquifact. Congratulations on making it to Munich. You joined the interview while doing the shushing thing as well. It's what my question is about as well. We saw Freck doing it. We saw you doing it. We saw Shaiko doing it. Tell us about these reactions. What was happening? Why were these reactions kind of happening?
I mean, we saw Freck winning the first map doing this every round, so we were like, okay guys, we want to have fun as well. So me and Shaiko start doing in every round. BDS at the end, I think. So yeah, no, just a joke to be honest, and to have fun and doing the same thing as he does.
do you think that is part of the team basically feeling the hype, feeling the energy, just like whenever you guys get a kill? I know we're listening to the comms. Every single case someone gets the opening kill, I hear like
yeah, just to have fun during the game. And even at the end of the second map, Shaco looked the last round and he saw me doing this instantly. He was laughing, everyone was laughing. And I told him, if we win, I'm doing this instantly in the interview and my part is done.
There you go. Shh, calm down, calm down. Well, we can't because we have still some more to talk about here because you had a rough start to this game before bringing it back and taking it to map 3 and closing it out there. Was it just a bit of time and trouble to get warmed up? What do you think happened there?
I think on Chalet, we start really slow the defense. And Freck was getting all the entry, all the gunfight he had to win, he win it. I think he put us, that put us in a bad situation. Then after we end with a 3-3, not enough to go to the overtime. I think Chalet was close. And then after we wake up, we start strong instantly on club. Attack was good, defense was good as well. And then Lair, it's our map, so we were confident for the decider.
So you're actually the first team to qualify to the Munich Major in the world, I think. How do you feel about that?
Good, to be honest, but I think it's not a surprise for anyone. No, I'm joking, but we feel really good. We work for it, and the job is not done yet. We also want to take the seed 1 in EML for the SI points. So yeah, our goal now is here.
Okay, I mean, just a real quick thing here. Seeing at the talent pool team-wise that we have out of EML, how well do you think EML would do in Munich?
I think good, because last time when we played BDS, we said, oh, I made a joke, they're shit, no. But they weren't shit at all today. They were really good. So I think even them, they can qualify. That's why Gen.G got surprised yesterday. I think G2 and Secret are also really strong. They struggle a bit against Wolf, but Wolf played really well as well. So like the top 6 is really strong, and I think we can do good.
Very good, very good. Ligevak, congratulations to yourself and the team. Is there anything you'd like to say to everybody out there ahead of Munich and really the winners match in only a couple hours?
Yeah, see you tonight for the match, and also everyone want to talk to me in Munich, just buy the Falcons skin.
Is that pay to win?
Pay to talk.
Subscription-based chat.
Just finding new sales argument every single interview.
See, but if you want to talk to Shaiko, you also have to buy his charm on top
as well.
of the Falcons skin.
Exactly. But Shaiko don't need this. Everyone has his charm already. It's fine for Shaiko.
Okay, he already has enough money.
No promotion for Shaiko. Everything else for the skin.
Ligevak, thank you very much for joining us. Maybe we'll get to see you in a few hours. Who knows? Good luck then. We'll let you go rest up and prepare.
Kind of a little 3-2-1 coordinations or the 2v1 pushes that we see from these teams just to continuously deal with the situations that are being put in front of them. It makes me so excited to see what is left, especially for the rest of the day, because we're only 1/3 there. Technically, there's still so much to play.
There really is. And on top of it, if you're a BDS fan, don't cry because it's not